What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. You know, I want to open up this video very similar to the last video that I made, not for XRP, but for Onyx Coin, because I think there's a point to be made here. A lot of people talk about Bitcoin, right? A lot of Bitcoin maxis. What I hear time and time again, and I'm sure you guys all hear this too, is well, yes, your altcoins might have pumped more from the lows of April 7th than Bitcoin has. They might recover more recently. Bitcoin's been outperforming the average coin in the markets. It's at new all-time highs. Can you say the same about your altcoin, right? And it's as if that's a triumphant moment that Bitcoin's outperforming every single altcoin that's not at new all-time highs. Well, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. That's a cat. Can you see him? He just said hi. He comes up and he'll say, "Give me love, man." Most of the time, my camera's not that low, but this is Mufasa. Anyways, he normally only shows up on camera. You only see his face or his butt if the coin is about to pump that we're talking about. He knows when to make an appearance, and XRP is the right one. I want to get back on topic here. Okay, Bitcoin started its bull market in January of 2023. Okay, XRP did too, essentially, right? That was your double bottom off the bear. You started your bull market here. From the beginning of the bull market to where you are now, you're up 701%. You're not at new all-time highs, right? You're still below your long-term all-time highs that you've been below, right? You barely broke above it here, but you're not at new all-time highs, but you are up 8x. How much is Bitcoin up in that same amount of time, right? Bitcoin's at new all-time highs, but it is only up 7x, right? XRP, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, one of the top cryptos in the market. If you're holding XRP, don't let those maxis give it to you by saying, "Oh, but you're not at new all-time highs yet. Bitcoin's outperformed you." That's not true. That's the average coin, yes, but this is the deal, guys. And people, it's a head trip because you can find any kind of source of data that you want to make your information bias correct in this space. There's so much dilution, there's so much noise pollution that if you wanted to make the very safe assumption that Bitcoin is outperforming the average altcoin in the markets, okay, that's obvious. But there are still coins, average altcoins, and coins, I shouldn't say average altcoins, coins that are obvious altcoins, well known about altcoins, that are still outperforming average altcoins as well, and even outperforming Bitcoin, right? XRP has outperformed Bitcoin since the beginning of the cycle, and it will continue to do so. That's the main point I'm trying to derive here, right? Just in case anybody out there has a friend who's a Bitcoin maximalist and you're getting in this exact argument, I'm throwing out some bones to help you here, right? You don't need to be at new all-time highs to outperform Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin just got to new all-time highs and it's still 1x below XRP. What happens when XRP starts to move? It's going to leave Bitcoin in the dust. And on that note, XRP to Bitcoin, we look at this here. You really are about to break out versus Bitcoin. You really are about to see some fantastic growth. We look at this on a monthly time frame, and you've been held down by this area here, right? You've been finding resistance right at this zone now since 2020, since 2019, like the end of 2019, all the way over here. You've literally been finding resistance here, and look at what you're doing, right? 1 month up, 1 month down, rejected hard, rejected hard, rejected hard, rejected hard. Here, you're dancing. You're doing a little dance with this thing right now, right? You've been here for like 6 months. Different behavior begets different results. You're going to break out versus Bitcoin. Already this cycle, you've been outperforming Bitcoin. That's why you're up so high on this chart, XRP to BTC. But when you break out of this, my question to you, it performs, these charts perform the same way as regular price does, right? Whenever you break out of a zone, you go to that next area, right? Here you broke out of your support range. Where did you go to find support? Right here at the base area where you found support before. You know what I mean? You're in an uptrend over time. You have higher lows overall. It's been a while since you've seen a higher high. You're going to break out of this zone that you've been in since 2019, late 2019, early 2020, however you want to phrase it. Are you going to break out and just stop right above, or are you going to smash through the ceiling? You're going to smash your boy with this thing, dude. It's going to go all the way up. You're going to see XRP gain so much value versus Bitcoin over the coming weeks, over the coming months. It's going to be phenomenal. And you're going to see it gain a lot of value versus the US dollar too, right? Bitcoin's going to gain a lot of value versus the US dollar, right? But it's a much higher market cap coin, right? Multi-trillion-dollar asset versus a multi-hundred-billion-dollar asset. Of course, this one's going to outperform it. High to low, being at $2.40 now, the expectation is you'll probably see some, I mean, you showed respect at the golden ratio here. I would anticipate you stop at about 538 and find some significance there. It's very common when working your way, ultimately, spoiler alert, ultimately I think we're going to go somewhere in this zone, okay? Between the 2618 and the money zone. The money zone is colored orange for a reason, right? Props to Bitcoin. It's orange for a reason, right? We've got our, but nonetheless, XRP is still going to smash through the roof. It's going to smash your Bitcoin relative to this consolidation phase here, right? XRP really is. I feel like there's been some negative news surrounding Garlinghouse and Loomis lately, as if XRP's not what it is. I don't know, man. I think it's exactly what it says it is. We'll see. Time will tell. I think there's a reason why it's in the top 3, though. That's all I'm saying. This is my expectation. This is where I think we're going to go. But generally speaking, whenever you move up, you don't just move in a straight line all the way up there. You'll likely find resistance at your 0.5, find support at your 1272, find some resistance around here, pull back, find support at your 1886, and then top off with an ultimate finish. Or you'll do it the XRP way, where you really do just, week to week, you just move straight up in a straight line. I mean, this thing, typically you would experience volatility, but this thing just likes to move maybe a pit stop here or there in the middle, but oftentimes you just move straight up. So we'll see how it goes. My expectation is there is going to be a stopping point at like 538, and there's probably going to be a stopping point around $10, psychological reasons, and you're right there just above the 2272, which with the 2272, you don't normally find resistance right at it. You normally do go just above it to find resistance, and right above there is $10. So I wouldn't be surprised if you found resistance at $5.40, at $10, at either of those or both of those on your ultimate journey up to $11 to $16 by the end of June, early July. And it might even be late July. This move could develop into late July. I'm sticking with late June to early July, but it could go later. It's fine. Just because we're not there. I mean, if things still look bullish, guys, and it's like the beginning of July, we'll keep moving. We'll keep moving as long as things are grooving and moving, But my expectation ultimately for XRP is that we stop at this zone, 1132 to 1630, something like that, right? That's probably where we'll go. I'm liking that right in the middle, that 1380 number. Something between 13 and 14 bucks is what I'm thinking. But time will tell. And it's about to happen. You're literally on the cusp. Once you break out versus Bitcoin, it's over. It's over. It's over for the bears, at least. The XRP bears are gonna they're gonna be sad, man. You got some bullish divergence showing up on your daily time frame. 3-day time frame also has bullish divergence. Your RSI, look at this, guys. You've been in this consolidation phase. This is versus Bitcoin, right? XRP to BTC. It's been a consolidation phase as long as you've been in a downtrend on this 3-day time frame. Downtrends in the RSI tend to end after you interact with the oversold zone. Well, you've interacted with it. All you got to do is get a little pump. All you got to do is get a little lift and break out of this. And once you do that, man, you're golden. You're literally golden. You're not stopping anywhere near here. You've been consolidating under this area for years. You're going to let loose the goose. It's going to fly real high. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. XRP's at $2.40 now. Looking at the daily RSI, my expectation is today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that are going to be green. It's going to be a good week. It's going to be a good next week. You hear me? Right? Looking at the daily RSI here, we're finding support exactly where you would think we'd find support. We're going to go up and find resistance exactly where you'd think we'd find resistance. We got into the overbought zone here, but we're going to live. We're going to dwell in it on this next one. Those dwellings, those livingings in the overbought zone like this, they produce moves like this. And again, it's not a straight line all the way up when you look at it day to day. There are stopping points. You zoom out, though, and it's essentially a straight line up, right? XRP moves at one pace, and that pace is explosive. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.